In 1925, Franz Roh, a German art critic during the New Objectivity movement, coined the term magical realism. Magical realism then would spread all over Europe and influence artists and writers in their process and make sure that they could comment on political and social issues of the time. This would then spread to Latin America during the 1960s and the 1970s due to the political turmoil of the time. Because of this, historical factors were used by writers as symbolism to explore the themes of race, colonialism, politics, family, and class. These were demonstrated by subtle, fantastical elements present in the ordinary worlds of the characters. The Latin American writers who made magical realism very famous were Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Isabel Allende, and Laura Esquivel. They would draw on folk tales and mythologies, and magical realism was then used to talk about the changing world around them. Cinema would then take magical realism in the 1970s and 1980s, but it wouldn't become very popular until the 1990s and 2000s. Because of the powerful visual representations that film could present through mise en scène, there were visuals of the characters' inner thoughts and emotions put on screen. And real-world settings would give magical realism power on screen, such as in examples of Pan's Labyrinth and Birdman. Symbolism was always used from myths and folk tales from all over the world and in many movies to use to discuss either underlying social or political commentary. And for example, Laura Esquivel wrote a novel in 1989 called Like Water for Chocolate. And this movie was then presented by Alfonso Arau, who was a Mexican film director, along with Big Fish by Tim Burton, which was also another magical realism adaptation, and including Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. These all were examples of the evolution of magical realism onto screen. All right, now on to the stylistic hallmarks of magical realism. John will take the rest from here. John?
I still gotta finish that video for film. Major magical realism works. Yo, Josiah, wake up. Josiah. Come on, man. Got school. If we're late again because of you, I won't even care. Magical realism. What an oxymoron. How can magic and realism go together? Barely makes sense. Morning. Gotta quickly finish this and finish my presentation for film. Yeah, wait, Mom. This plate is so dirty. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Come over. Look, it's so dirty. I bet Josiah cleaned this. It got Josiah written all over it. I hope he ends up as a sacred deer. Oh, it's just a reference to one of my films in my presentation. Magical realism. It's basically a subgenre where a fictional story is portraying the real world with elements of magic fantasy. It's interesting because they don't escape to this new magical world. They still have problems to deal with, like all of us. Alright, though, I gotta go back and get my stuff. Got to get the images for my films. Josiah? Still sleeping, huh? Okay. Alright, where are they? There they are. 1, 2, Now, some of the major works from the magical realism film movement includes Post Tenebras Lux, directed by Carlos Regadas. And it is a movie that mysteriously includes this lovely two-horned creature known as the devil. And what else had a two-horned creature? Pan's Labyrinth. And this movie kind of follows the same style as My Neighbor Totoro, and the fact that this family has moved out to the country and they're living a normal life while some random events occur and domestic issues arise, and these are normal issues that everyone have to face. And this goes along with the theme of magical realism, that magic is not an escape to another world. Another great work of this film movement is The Killing of a Sacred Deer, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and it's basically about a surgeon who allows this fatherless dude into his life. And the fatherless child, basically 16 years old, has unexplained powers and exacts revenge on the surgeon by having the surgeon choose to kill one of his family members or have the entire family die to mysterious symptoms. Why? Because the child is fatherless due to the fact that the surgeon was drunk while operating on the fatherless child's father. Ah, so basically, this whole story is linked to the Greek myth King Agamemnon, and basically, the king is trying to launch this attack, and he's out at sea with his fleet, and unknowingly kills one of Artemis's sacred deers. And so Artemis is like, yo, that's kind of goofy, yo. And so Artemis stops the winds of the sea, keeping the entire fleet stuck out in the waters. And she's like, if you don't sacrifice your daughter, you're not moving anywhere. And so this whole entire like divine intervention is reflected throughout the film, as there are many wide shots such as these. And there are many camera angles that appear to be like gods looking down upon the cast. Now, our last example is a very famous one, Groundhog Day, directed by Harold Ramis, and it is about a weatherman. This guy sent to cover Groundhog Day activities, and he shows a lot of disdain for this little assignment, and then he starts experiencing a time loop and wakes up in the same day over and over again. So he starts doing whatever he wants, eventually trying to escape the loop, and he just undergoes a whole personality change, going from very selfish and uncaring to someone who tries to save everyone's life. And so the magical realism element of this movie is the fact that the time loop is never explained and normal problems are still in the protagonist's way. Like, along with all of these other movies, these protagonists and these characters are all dealing with these unexplained phenomena in normal ways. And so that's what makes a movie a magical, realistic movie. Now you want to be up, Josiah? Alright. Don't take too long. Oh, it's too dark to even go to school. I'm gonna sleep in. Jacob can take care of the rest of the video. Hey, Josiah, did you even hear me? It's too dark to go to school. You can all sleep in. Ugh, I still gotta finish that video for film. It would seem Josiah's not joining us today, so these are our sources, and thank you.